Well, good evening, everybody. What's going on, YouTubers? And welcome to this Continuum, the Star Wars Continuum. I just got home from seeing Solo, and I was very, how do I put this, happily surprised, but it was a really good movie. I heard so many bad things about it, but I'm happy to say that none of them were true, as far as I'm concerned. First of all, there was no opening crawl. It was just titles, blocks of text that came up. Which is, I'm fine with that. You know, they didn't do the opening crawl for Rogue One, so I got no problem with that. And Alden Ehrenreich and Donald Glover gave solid performances, I thought. Especially Donald Glover. Man, he was good as Lando. I mean, he had the nuances of the voice and everything down. He's really, really good. And I was really surprised Woody Harrelson gave a pretty solid performance too as his character. I don't remember the name right offhand, but you'll find out. He's always been a really good actor, so I'm not really surprised he gave a good performance. And of course, we have who I consider the star of the movie, Eunice Suetomo, aka Chewbacca, Chewie. He's really come into that character now. He's got the nuances. He got all that down. So Peter Mayhew should be pretty proud of his understudy, or the new Chewbacca. He did really good. And I'm proud of Peter Mayhew for making that character what it is, so Suetomo can take it over. So thumbs up to both of them. And of course, Warwick Davis had a small role, and he wasn't all in makeup or a creature outfit. He was a character named Weasel, or Wazell, and he had a line, which is cool. And it wasn't yum yum. And of course, the voice I recognized early in the movie, a character named Lady Proxima, was voiced by Linda Hunt. And we all know her as Hetty on NCIS Los Angeles, but she was in a movie, I think it was Year of Living Dangerously in 1982. She won the Best Supporting Actress Oscar. But yeah, her voice is unmistakable. As soon as that creature started talking, I went, Hetty! But she did a really good job. As a small role as it was a memorable one. I watched a couple of reviews last night, and they're saying, well, there were slow parts. It was slow. It was this, that, and the other. I didn't see that. It was well paced. It was very well paced. The action scenes were stunning. Only problem I had was with what was it, L337, the Lando's droid. That was stupid. I'm sorry. That was not necessary. They made her a little too human. I won't any mention farther than that, but you'll understand when you see the movie. It was stupid. Yeah, I don't have a problem with having a robot co-pilot because the little pieces you solve, they seem to get along pretty well. But no, it was not. That whole thing was unnecessary. The droid was necessary, but the personality of the droid, everything about that droid was unnecessary. But they needed him having a droid as a co-pilot doesn't surprise me. The humor was subtle. There weren't like fall out of your chair laughing your ass off jokes, but there's some subtle jokes, and the audience laughed. I laughed too, of course. So we now know the true meaning of, hey, I won the Falcon fair and square. You know how that came about. Some people have said that some of the deaths were unnecessary or the acts were unnecessary. I didn't say anything that was unnecessary. I really didn't. Or anything over the top, or, well, there's a part in the Kessel Run scenes that seemed a little silly, but you know what? Hey, you got to feel for droids, I feel for droids. I got a little choked up a couple of scenes with droids because they made them a little too human, which wasn't necessary. And from what I understand, the gentleman who plays C-3PO, I can't think of his name right offhand, he was in the movie, but he played a different creature or something. I don't remember who he played, but I think we saw R2 at a distance. There are other R2 droids there, but I'm pretty sure I saw R2-D2 at a distance, but. Yeah, the gentleman who played C-3PO was a different character. I don't remember who it was. And I doubt you could tell. Couldn't really tell because he was in full makeup, I'm guessing. But yeah, it was a good, solid movie. I was really surprised. I really like it. I'm definitely going to see it again. Chewie, they said Chewie was like a background player, but no, Chewie was, I considered him like the lead role. I mean, it was about Solo, but it was, more about, there's more scenes with Chewie and more action with Chewie, a lot more vocalization. But they didn't. How do I put this without? Well, I guess it's already known that Han speaks Wookiee, little Wookiee, I don't know where, if it was ever mentioned where he learned it, but some people have said that the first scenes with Chewbacca were unnecessary and possibly unrealistic, but no, they weren't. I'll tell you why. Because survival, instinct, and intelligence, all of which that Chewie has, obviously, will kick in if you're in a precarious situation. But if you meet a kindred spirit or someone who wants to help you, you're gonna, that's gonna go out of the way. That's going to take a back seat, and you're gonna bond with that person to some degree or another. Someone doing something nice for you if you're in a really precarious situation. I mean, you can see with animals, if an animal is cornered, they're going to be vicious. But if you just see, they're pretty mellow. If you see them at a distance, they're not being threatened or anything. So it's all instinct. It's instinct, survival, and of course intelligent. And Chewie has all three of those. Obviously, he's not human, but he's still intelligent enough to use those to his advantage. I mean, obviously, instinct's going to kick in for survival, and you could be two different people and at those situations. Hope you can understand what I'm saying. But no, I didn't see those scenes as hyper unrealistic. Anybody in that situation would be the same way. So good. I'm sure. Was his name Eunice Suotomo did a good job in that movie. Even though he was in a costume, I don't know if he did any of the vocalizations. I would highly doubt it, but. He really made us feel for Chewie, made Chewie more real. Of course, we get a scene that's it's got singers and people, different creatures and aliens wandering about. You always have to have those in Star Wars. didn't have a problem with those. Of course, we get to see what they call a yacht. This guy's headquarters. I can't think of his name right offhand. He's the one that kind of thinks swirling around as the movie goes by. And he's kind of the reason that Han was in the position he was in, and the reason for the Kessel Run, and this, that, and the other. Yeah, I previously mentioned, I didn't see anything that was monumentally unnecessary except Lando's droid, SMFH. I mean, the droid was necessary. I think that was a good thing to have Lando with a droid co-pilot, but. Well, you'll see when you see the movie the personality. I don't know who programmed it, but the relationship between the droid and Lando was a little eerie and very unnecessary. It's kind of I think it's unnatural to program a droid like that. But that's just my opinion. And I don't know how much Ron Howard was involved in the directing, but. I thought it was a solid job. I don't know how much the first two directors and Ron Howard did, but it was a pretty solid job, I thought. So let everyone pan the movie. I really don't care. I really liked it, and you'll like it too when you see it. You got to walk in with an open mind because it is a standalone movie, and the ending, kind of a surprise ending, but I heard about it unfortunately, but not unfortunately. Spoilers don't really bother me. So I was watching a couple of reviews last night. They were spoiler reviews, so didn't take away from the movie, but. It looks like it's opening up for a follow-up movie because there's a rumor that Alden has signed for two other movies besides this one, 3 total. So yeah, this seems to be setting up something for the female character, qi'ra, whatever. Not qi'ra. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Qi'ra seem to be setting something up for her later on, and of course, kind of a interesting cameo at the end. And of course, Han is off to seeking his famous fortunes, if you know what I mean. So we're leading to where they said, they called it a quote-unquote big gangster, or a big gangster, I guess they called it. So obviously they know they're talking about Jabba the Hutt. So maybe if there is another movie, we're going to see when Han first starts smuggling for Jabba and see where qi'ra fits in. I don't know if they're going to stretch it two more movies and then lead right into A New Hope. I don't know what they have planned, but I have a feeling Disney's doing this just for the money. They're going to crank them out and pump them out just for money-making reasons and not because of for love of Star Wars, and that really bothers me. I mean, I'll still see them, but I'll be very outspoken about, if the quality of the movies start diminishing, I'll be very outspoken about it because I happen to love Star Wars, loved it since I saw it in '77. If they start going down the path that I'm afraid they're going down, I'll be very upset with Disney, which is why I usually only buy the figures when they're on clearance. because I think they're a little overpriced. But I always wait. Then the fact that I'm kind of poor people, but yeah, I'll always buy the movie. I'll always see it in the theater. But if they push me too far, well, that'll be it. They keep churning these out just for money, for profit's sake. Because we need. I don't see we need an Obi-Wan movie too much, unless it's. I don't know how they would do that though. We've seen most of Obi-Wan, unless it's Obi-Wan's young life when he finds out that he's force sensitive, etc. Maybe Ewan McGregor dressed as the elder Obi-Wan recanting, talking about his young life. I don't know if that's what they had planned, but we need a Yoda movie. Boba Fett, I don't know. We've seen quite a bit about Boba Fett, and if people say they want to see, well, I guess we can further adventures of Boba Fett. I guess I don't know why I'm doing this. And chop chop. Yeah, we definitely need Yoda movie. People say Vader movie. We've seen everything about Vader now. We don't need a movie about that. It'd be nice if they did a Leia movie, like her younger years, and I mean, they were born. You saw her with their adoptive parents, and then all of a sudden she's an adult. Maybe we can see what happened. Who knows? But they're just going to keep churning them out with no regard for what people really want, what fans really want. I can only be pushed so far. So, but this time they got lucky. Solo was a good movie. Ron Howard should be proud. Alden and Donald and Woody Harrelson and Eunice Suotomo and all the actors in that movie did a splendid job, I thought. Even Warwick Davis. I mean, how can you not have Warwick Davis in your movie? And not in costume, not in a creature costume. You know who Creature is playing, but we actually saw him. Rumor has it he reprised the role of the role he played in episode 1 when he was in the stands watching the pod races, and apparently he was talking to, I don't know if he was talking to a Watto guy next to him. That's a rumor. I don't know if that's the same character, but good on him, and he had a good solid line too. So I'm glad they have him in every movie. So that's about it for the no spoiler review. I'm not going to ruin too much, but like I said, I was pleasantly surprised by the action scenes, the lead-ins from one scene to another. They did a good job with it. I don't care what anyone else says. I really liked it. Not just because I'm a Star Wars yes man. Gotta love everything. No, I can find issues, and I did. So. But I think people are walking in there with it in their mind that it's going to suck, and a predetermined verdict about it. But I walk in there with an open mind, So anyway, appreciate you guys watching this video. Thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Forget subscribe to my channel and share my channel, helps me a lot. And like the video, it helps me a lot too. Remember to check out my other socials, including Star Wars, Acolyte of the Force, My Irrelevant Life, and EQ3 Enterprises. I'm going to be doing some fan fiction writing and other stuff for Acolyte of the Force real soon here. And check out my other socials. The links will be down in the description. I will talk to you guys in the next one, and may the Force be with you. That ain't the worst Chewie you ever heard. I don't know. Take care, guys.